All right, welcome back, everybody. Map number 3. Enemy versus SKDC. Winner goes on to versus Luminosity, and loser versus Keed. Not an easy route either way, but if you've forgotten, I'm Laser Jesus, and can you smell what the Bach is cooking? Mark Bach Wilson, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, and I'm loving the creativity of your intros every single day. It's always something new over here at RGN.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, this is an ever-important knife round. Obviously, both these teams want to start on the CT side of Overpass. I mean, it's not necessarily as CT-sided as it once was, but still definitely favored in the CT side. And based on what I've seen, it's about 10-5 map, and it looks like it's going to be Enemy who takes it, so that's going to be big, especially when you have that op presence from Kusta. It's going to be that kind of presence that you saw it on Mirage. Just knowing that Kusta was playing, SKDC was scared to go mid. And you kind of wonder, is that going to play a factor here on Overpass? Are they going to be afraid to make their way towards long? So I would assume long is going to be the place. Like, they're going to be peeking long and window a lot. They're going to be very leery when it comes to buy rounds of whether or not Kusta is going to be in the window or he's going to be long, locking down areas with that op. The thing is, Kusta doesn't sit still. Kusta roams the map freely. He's a vagabond. He finds a new spot every single round to set up, perch with his op, and try and find kills. So I don't necessarily expect Kusta to be a stationary force. He's going to be dynamic, and that's going to be hard for SKDC to try to battle with on their T side on a map like Overpass.
Yeah, I would agree. And I have not seen Enemy on. I may have. I just can't recollect it. I know I've seen SKDC on their Overpass, and if I can remember correctly, they like to get aggressive on bathrooms, you know, a la Fnatic style. We'll see if they continue that, what it's going to be. Enemy starting on the CT side, SKDC on T. We've seen there's no real favorite sites for team to go on pistol rounds. For you can either go for the B bust or go for a split onto the A bomb site. Enemy early stacking the B bomb site with 3, but it's going to be a split onto A. And Anomaly, if he's not careful, get dropped by Slemmy with the split before the second part even comes through. This is prompting Enemy to immediately over-rotate towards A, and the bomb of SKDC is just waiting for the call outside of B.
So look at ZNF, not rotating, not budging. He's got a 5-7 on Cat. He just needs to be careful that he doesn't make too much noise. If he can spot out this bomb on the back of Ape, he could potentially shut this round down here for SKDC. I have a feeling they might still opt to go A if they can open up the site, but he's going to see that door open, and all of a sudden, that's the call. Look at this. They've already rotated a player down. That's Ryu, who's made his way back towards Toxic Rails. ZNF up close. He's going to get one, but dropped immediately by a nice shot from the USP of Stewie. But look at this. They are not prepared. Uber in pit gets one as well. They've got Ryu still perched up on Toxic Barrels. He's going to spot Ocean out on Cat. Ape tries to make his way back in towards Long Tunnel, and he is going to escape. 2 players on Catwalk to contend with, both taking shots from Ryu. This is a great counterplay from Enemy, but they have to be careful. They've now given the A bomb site back to SKDC, and you can see, again, smart play as Kusta has already made his way on the rotate, as has Uber. They're not going to be in position to stop the bomb plant, but they will get there in time for a retake. So this is very smart and wise play from Enemy. They're going to lose one. That's going to be Kusta dropping in bank. Uber trying to find a kill on the man truck right now. That's going to be Slemmy on the other side. But it's going to be Ape who strikes first. So now Ryu, 1 versus 2. We saw him come up with some big rounds in the last game. Will he be able to do it here? No, he does not. A great hold from SKDC. Very chaotic pistol round, but it ends up being them the best enemy. And that's going to be an important round. Every round you can add on your T side. It's definitely going to matter. But we'll see. Is Enemy going to force buy and try and shut this down? It looks like that could be the case, as Ryu has already picked up that 5-7 armor.
Yep, they're going for it. And they did this last time. It wasn't successful. They couldn't utilize those scouts very well. And Kusta, again, not buying anything. Going to save up for his op in the 4th round, regardless of what happens. This round, you know, SKDC here, it was a great adjustment from them. However, Enemy kind of gave them an easier route. Kusta did not believe they were heading back towards A as he was rotating initially, and he would have beat them there had he just booked it there initially. But instead, kind of fell back, expecting it to go back towards B, and eventually SKDC beat them in towards A. This round, though, not doing a bad job as Enemy. They've dwindled a lot of SKDC's health down. And it has been a 1 versus 1 trade, and still unable to get the bomb down. Smoke just about to dissipate in the site. Kusta just posted up on the opposite side of it. Decides now's the time to move. Ryu gets 2 though. This is looking disastrous for SKDC as Ryu gets a third. Enemy gonna steal this momentum right back unless Stewie2K, with only 5 HP remaining, can do anything about it. I think Ryu just spotted him. No, he didn't, but he finishes the job. Ryu with a big 4K, snatching that momentum right out of SKDC's hands.
Shepardamo? That's an inside joke that none of you will ever understand, with my family. But it basically translates to, what just happened? That was a very awkward buy from Enemy, and somehow it worked. I mean, they brought SKDC into the site, and Kusta just sat on the railing right in front of Plywood for so long with the USP, and he just sat there, and they had no idea he was there. And he actually got a kill from that position as well. It was great play from Enemy to just lock down that B site, but they have to be careful. These are the rounds they really struggled with on Mirage. It was the 4 spies when SKDC just ran through smokes, ran in through nades, and now it looks like they've adjusted pretty nicely as CNF is going to find multiple frags over towards mid. Last man standing is Stewie2K. He did find himself an AK, and he does have armor, so this is potentially winnable with Bomb on his back. If he can at least get the plant, it's a pretty good round for them, but at the same time, they did armor up, so losing this many players gonna hurt their economy quite a bit in Uber with the CZ. We saw him do some impressive work on Dust 2. This time it's gonna be on Overpass. It's gonna give Enemy the round 2-1, and now the money on the T side. Definitely not looking so hot. Gonna be another eco, and I would hope they don't force up twice.
Given their success rate with the Tech 9s, it doesn't even seem unadvisable, but holy double negative. And Enemy's gotta feel good that they shut down an SKDC Tech 9 round, because SKDC, as stated, has been winning a whole lot of them. Now, not going to go for it back-to-back, just going to be rushing towards long with 3 or 2, never mind, just 1 Glock, so it's not a bad idea. If it was more than 1, I'd call it 1, but they do have a lot of P250s, and P250 at range, one of the better pistols across the board compared to the rest. So if they can get a couple dinks onto ZNF before he gets the information, that's not going to be the case. Now, Enemy knows exactly what's going on. They have to push up long. The bathroom's already shut off. Now, Enemy with the free round with some nice spotting by ZNF. So, quick 3-1 here. Nice job by Enemy, taking the momentum after their 4-spy win. And now SKDC, first gun round.
You know, even as someone who loves the P250, I honestly just don't even understand why you would buy it. I mean, when you're on the T side, the Tech 9 is not that much more expensive.
To Tech 9.
This is true. But if you can get yourself into a close engagement, I mean, the Tech 9 just has a stupid amount of bullets. And if you play it right, you can just get yourself up close to A, and then all of a sudden it becomes scary territory. I mean, I get why they went with the P250, but at the same time, I'm looking at the Tech 9 and all of its strengths, and I still feel like it outweighs the P250 just because of that massive clip, crazy recoil, and damage per bullet.
Yeah, I guess They didn't want to buy up too much, but what's the $200 difference if it's going to give you a better chance to win the round? But SKDC, at least they put it into Enemy's heads that they're willing to go long on these eco rounds. So they'll have to think about that later, and this may help them out later when they go for their Tech 9 ecos. We'll see, though. Maybe that just helps Enemy realizing we shut it down. They're probably not going to go for it again. Who knows? But now SKDC on their first gun round trying to work the catwalk of B, not finding much success. They have gotten the real estate, but they haven't gotten any damage done as a result of it. And still unwilling to give up this B bomb site taken. It looks like they're going to execute anyways. Tons of numbers here for Enemy. They have apt numbers to deal with this. However, SKDC gets the first frag anyways, making it pretty crazy here is SKDC, and they're getting all the entries. Enemy unable to help each other due to these smokes. We do have ZNF trying to go for the sneaky play. Can't get it done. And now Kusta remains perched up above, and he's got to get some early frags here. Gets spotted out by Slemmy, trying to make it out of there. If Kusta can survive here with the op, I don't know if he's going to be going for this or what. I'd like for him to save in the 1 versus 3. Even if it's Kusta with an op, SKDC is probably not going to give you a bunch of 1 versus 1s, and this is really hard to win more than a 1 versus 1 with the AWP. So Kusta is going to save, and this is going to give them a lot to work with in the next round. Either you can stack a bomb site with your AWP, or you stack the op, say at long, and stack everybody else towards either B or the bathrooms. This op gives them a lot of opportunities, but it doesn't look like Kusta's going to survive here.
No, probably not. Yeah, he almost had a chance there as Ape kind of whiffed the early shots hitting the pole, but, I mean, you're in panic territory at that point. You just try and flick a shot down and hope it hits. So they do lose the op, and in fact, they don't just lose it, they give it to the T side, so They're going to go for another buy up here. It's going to be a force buy from Enemy. You're going to see Kusta going for the off buy yet again. Not necessarily a force buy. It looked like it at first. The money was a little shaky, but now that I'm seeing the rifles hit pay dirt, it seems like they definitely have a better buy. But it looked like Enemy had a really good setup for that hold. They just got smoked out of position and couldn't find the frags. They got caught off guard just a little bit, and it kind of fell apart for them. This round it's going to be Kusta using that dynamic op presence that we've talked so much about, but haven't really seen too much of, to open up the round for Enemy, taking down Slemmy over towards long. That wasn't the op, though. It looks like the op is actually on the back of Stewie. And actually, maybe Stewie did recover it from the corpse of Slemmy as he's making his way towards long, trying to challenge Kusta, as it looks like they want to get control of long A, but Kusta's not having it. He's just going to fall back into his sight and let them push into him.
That's the plan, and SKDC is trying to get some sort of opening, but they don't want to give up another player. They're taking it quite tentatively. They still don't have the bomb with them. So are they going to go for a B-bus? That looks like it, as they're recovering the bomb. Still have their control of the catwalk area, but once again, Enemy with adequate numbers inside of the B-bomb site. The same case last time, though. There's another entry. Do SKDC still have their smokes ready? This is going to make it really hard for Enemy to play off of each other. Here comes Ryu with the peek. Oh, man, can't get anybody from the sewer. However, Uber comes alive from the bomb site, or down below it, to be precise, and Kusta assists him. Ocean trying to find Uber. Uber just being a nuisance, hiding, making his hitbox unavailable. And then hits a peek onto Els. Great round by Uber, using his positioning phenomenally. Now Enemy take another round, 4-2, and no buy here from SKDC. And the amount of people that survived, I would not advise a force buy from SKDC.
Yeah, absolutely not at all. Sometimes the best duels that you take are the ones you don't take at all. You can see Uber knew there was a player catwalk, but rather than force the hand and try and take the fight, he just plays very passively and trusts Kusta. Something that Kusta did a lot on Dust 2, that or in the flip side actually, and unfortunately Kusta couldn't really rely on that from his teammates, but this time it was him who was put in that trustworthy role, and he came up big. It's going to be great molly and nade damage here for ZNF over towards mid. He's got to be careful, though, as that's Stewie 2K coming around the corner with the Tech 9. He does get the headshot. Slemmy's going to put some damage down onto Kusta. Actually, Kusta escapes, somehow gets away scot-free, but it was Slemmy, I think, who had found some shots. Maybe even Stewie, not sure which one it was, but Kusta going big with the op. ZNF as well over towards mid. A great round, shutting down, I think, what was a force buy. I couldn't really tell if they had armor or not. It might have just been pistols.
Just a few pistols.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't look close enough, but, you know, with SKDC, the way they've been working out, who knows? It seems logical that they would go with the force buy. Right.
Their success rate with the Tech 9, I should keep a running tally or something with their success rate with that versus Enemy so far. Kusta has been doing a really good job of making himself like a phantom of a target. No trades are available for SKDC. Kusta always gets a shot off and then gets out of there. I like the work that he's doing thus far. See if he can do it once more. The player in danger right now is that long, though. ZNF all alone, no trade available. And Ocean gets the kill fairly clean. Only Stewie 2K, his teammate, taking a little bit of damage. This prompts Kusta to fall off of the bathroom area. So a lot of real estate now for SKDC. They are going to call the bomb back to join them outside of A here. So a bit of a disadvantage here. SKDC would really like this round, keeping the pressure on early on in the half. They are going to be splitting onto A fairly soon here. Oh, Kusta botches a Molotov.
Whoops.
SKDC is going to be wondering, why is the site on fire? Perhaps it's a glitch. Who knows? Kusta finding a way around the smoke, though. Big error here from SKDC as Kusta is open for business from the bank. They do line up the second smoke. All right, so now Kusta is unavailable for business, as the rest of SKDC now coming up into the A site. Trades are there, but Enemy still down a player. Ryu takes the bomb down. Trade once more. Still unable to get the bomb down. Now Kusta finds a hole in the smoke. We're down to a 2 versus 2. Ocean makes it a 1-on-2. Kusta remains. Big nade onto Ocean, but he still has 2 players to deal with. Still has not changed his position coming from the bank. This would be so big from Kusta. Needs to get a 3K to win this. He's looking for SKDC to peek him, but SKDC is getting him no quarter here. Oh, can't hit the flick shot as Ocean makes his way out of the site. This puts Slemmy in a really good position. Kusta's trying to make his way up, but he's got to find Slemmy somehow. Slemmy's playing the box beautifully. Kusta again whiffs an off shot and running out of time here. Maybe even thinking about saving this. If he can get out of bank, Slemmy, is he going to allow it? Kusta, he gets away. Ow. Man, down to just 8 HP. They're going to be on the hunt, but Kusta, I think he's going to survive with this AWP. Minor consolation. But Enemy really could have won that round, but the trades were just really strong from SKDC.
Yeah, every kill that Enemy got was followed up almost immediately by a kill for SKDC, and it put him into a really difficult situation where you have Kusta. I mean, a totally winnable situation with an M4 or an AK, but with the AWP, I mean, his position, he doesn't really have an angle on the guy Truck who's planting the bomb. Almost took him out with a nade, but not quite enough, down to 15 HP, and then he had the one other player to contend with. It was still a solid round from Enemy, and they've still done decent amount of economic damage to the T side, but they need to be careful as they did lose quite a few guns on their own side as well. So it's going to make it 5-3 right now. And look at this, it's going to be Enemy yet again, that opening frag. It seems like Enemy consistently gets the opening frag over SKDC, but it's always SKDC with a response and taking a site with a storm of kills. It's going to be Ape making his way up into B, and now Ryu stuck on Catwalk. He's going to get one, peeks and tries to get a second, does a lot of damage to Ape, but doesn't take him down. Slemmy getting tagged up a bit as well, down to 84. Kusta and ZNF left for the retake. Kusta's going to toss an nade over into the site, not really going to do much of anything. They've got a player right on the other side of that plywood to contend with. That's going to be the man in pit. But look at this boost from Kusta here. He needs to be careful as he's going to spot the man out in pit. It's going to also give away the position that both players are there for the CT side, so now they have to be careful. And I really don't know what Kusta was thinking there, forcing that issue with the the close range battle.
You have ZNF with the rifle.
If you have a ZNF with the rifle, why not put him in that spot?
I don't know. Kusto was feeling it. He wanted the crazy op shot, and looks like we have 2 players leaving the server, interestingly enough. Usually it's just one, but yeah. If Kusto would have been the first rotate, as he usually is, to the B-bomb site, I think that would have been a better hold from Enemy, unless, of course, they had been smoked off. Not too sure, but we are at a pause here. So, once again, I want to remind you guys of our giveaways we got going on. Endermat's specifically giving away a flip knife boreal forest, the field-tested version. And all you got to do is follow us at RGN on Twitter and them at EnemyGG, is it? God, I keep forgetting. I have it written down somewhere. Mark, help me, please.
What is this that we're talking about here? I was reading something else.
It's EnemyGG, correct?
It's Enermax Global.
Enermax Global. Well, I got the G right, but once again,
yes.
field-tested flip knife boreal forest giveaway and lovely hardware case, as well as cooling systems. If you haven't checked them out specifically, I know I tell you it every time, but look at the Ostrog pink case. Looks so sick. I just want it so badly. Anyways, we're back into the match.
I completely disagree, by the way.
The worst plug I've ever done. So sorry. Check out the pink case. Mark, take it away.
All right, so it's going to be another eco round here from Enemy. They had 2 players drop. Apparently, they're having FPS drops. Sometimes that happens when you play on client. You know, the client just takes over, and it's actually going to be Kusta opening things up here with a nice pistol kill on the man towards Party. That's Stewie dropping early. Look at ZNF. Oh, he peeks and gets the dink almost immediately onto Else, but not able to do much else. Else dispatching of him pretty quickly. So it's going to make it down to a 3 versus 4. Ryu does have a smoke, or actually a flash and an incendiary, but all the way down at the bottom of stairs. Coming in on the long flank here, going for the long con. And that could definitely pay off. Uber right around the corner. Could find a frag here if Ocean Peaks is too wide. And he does, and that's actually going to be bomb going down. They lose another one, and all of a sudden this round is slipping out of SKDC's grasp. Uber ducking away, puts so much damage out onto Ape. Down to 13, and he's going to walk blindly into the headshot of Ryu. And that round came together beautifully for Enemy. A round that definitely should have been SKDC's, just crumbles in their grasp. And Enemy now puts themselves up 6-4 and saves quite a bit of money by picking up multiple rifles at the end.
Yeah, that's just jump-started their economy drastically. And now SKDC, they're going to go with a bunch of Tech 9s. Not a bad idea by them, but that was a huge loss from SKDC. They're riding that momentum, just about to tie it up, or getting close to it, and Enemy take another eco round. Both these teams have been ecoing each other so much, so maybe SKDC can continue the trend here. A bomb site completely open. Enemy, if they don't get this flank going, they might get caught off guard, as Kusta here, he's going to fall back to the site, and oh, he's actually going to just post up at long here. Great decision by Kusta. He could have just went back into the site, maybe got caught off guard, but SKDC with a free bomb plant on a force buy before anybody dies. This is one of the strangest matches I've casted in quite some time, but Enemy do clean the rest of the round up and survive with 4 players, and their economy now is looking good.
I think that was one of those, it's an eco round, let's play this passively. They've seen how devastating the eco rounds can be from SKDC, and by eco I mean Tech 9 armor, because that's what eco round has become for them. They knew exactly what SKDC would probably try to do. They'd try to take something fast. They'd storm in with Tech 9s blazing, and there's no reason to take the fights if you don't have to. They played that right. They waited for the bomb to plant, went for the retake. I mean, at this point, they're just trying to get rounds together. They can afford to give them that $800. And they've been looking pretty solid even in the gun rounds, so I think it made sense there. Backing off just a little bit, playing the retake was the wise decision. So now,
given the eco rate success of SKDC, yeah, I love
that. Exactly. I mean, they've lost so many eco rounds to SKDC, forcing the issue and taking those duels. It seems like when they get into those 1v1s, they get a kill and get dropped almost immediately. So, like, the trades are always going to favor the T side when it comes to a take, especially in an eco round, because they're not going to stop. They're going to get that kill, and they're just going to keep running. They're going to blaze their way onto the site and get frag after frag. So, definitely a wise play from Enemy there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Now, SKDC, they've gotten control of the short before, and whether or not they've even gotten the entry before they execute, they've had a lot of success towards B, so not surprising that they'd go back to it. And a bit of an A stack. Never mind, they do have Ryu perched up in the heavens. So SKDC is going to apply a bit of pressure over towards A, and then eventually go with their B bus, which again has been decently successful. Now here comes the B take. Uber and Anomaly. Uber's been looking good before. I think it's Anomaly's turn to step it up here. He's constantly getting entry frag. Uber goes down. Anomaly to follow suit. There it is. SKDC again with a great D-bus. They're going to have to figure this out somehow. They do have Ryu approaching from down below. Can't defend the bomb planner. And then Ocean there with the trade onto Ryu. This is a save for Enemy. They might want to go for exits. If they can survive with one player drop Uber, then their economy is fine. But I'd like leaving ZNF to go for exits here.
And Kusta almost dropped there, that nade coming towards Graffiti. He was at 14 HP, he took 12 damage. That's scary if you're the op. You see that grenade, you're like, oh, well, I'm dead. And somehow, by the grace of God, Kusta does survive. But he needs to be careful. I'm not sure he's necessarily out of the woods in his current position because of the way the bomb sites are stacked up in this map. He took 1 damage.
Wow.
1 HP, so that's what I'm saying. You know, Kusta probably saw that and he's like, oh, guys, I have 1 HP. That's like one of those scary things with the way that Overpass works. It's just like Nuke, the vertical bomb sites.
Just like told you.
Yeah, right. I've met Kusta and he probably didn't say anything at all. Kusta's a very reserved, I won't say quiet, very reserved person, at least on land. So maybe he didn't say anything at all. He probably just nodded confidently.
Right. I'd like to think he just went with the told you. I knew. I had calculated it. 1 damage only. But see if he can make anything work with this AWP this round. They are heading towards his position. This time contesting the bathroom area. They don't want to give it up to SKDC this time. They just forfeited it last time, which allowed SKDC to set up a bit over towards B and throw a minor fake. But Kusta does get the first frag. His teammate does get traded off, though. The bomb outside of B once more from SKDC. They really like this strategy. They just post up the bomb and wait for the intel or the call from the rest of his comrades over towards A before he makes his move. So, still sitting outside of A here. They're hoping that Kusta will peek them eventually, but Kusta is playing it patiently. Eventually, they're going to have to make their move, and oh man, I think Ape heard the player push out towards B. So if he rotates in, I think Ape is going to have a free plant here, and SKDC realizing exactly what's going on. No, the call is made to head back towards A with the bomb. So with that frag, they're confident enough to take into A, and little do they know.
There's Kusta with the AWP getting the first one. Slemmy right on the other side putting a lot of damage out. He's been a serious pest right now for Kusta in the A site. Not able to find him. He does drop to Stewie2K, but Slemmy has Ryu to contend with. Oh, a nice headshot from Slemmy as he comes around the corner from Truck. And another one! Slemmy just takes the round into his hands and says, don't worry, guys, I got this one. Carrying his team to victory there. A 4K on the round. And that was devastating for Enemy as now their money is just in pieces. And Kusta, again, I'm kind of scratching my head. You know, Kusta has found a few shots, but he's really struggling to hit that pure op rhythm that I've seen him do. It's kind of like that Skadoodle presence where he just hits like shot, followed by a shot, followed by a shot, just lines them up. They just run, and he has the perfect placement for the advance. Instead, he's just struggling early on, and even though he's sitting at 11 and 6, it just really hasn't been that dominant alt presence that I expect from him. This round, it's another eco and potentially another victory. What is going on? All of a sudden, 8 left standing here and a 1 versus 5? How are these rounds coming together so quickly?
I don't understand. SKDC on an anti-eco go for a B rush, which with one smoke just destroyed them. One $300 item ruined that for SKDC. It was difficult for them to get the trade, and I can't believe this. How many ecos have we seen? All right, I'm done talking about it. SKDC need to tighten it up, but Enemy with that, with another eco, they've been in this. They're in this half solely because of eco rounds. SKDC would have had so many more, and this time it's Enemy getting all the ecos. SKDC would be winning had they not lost both those ecos and then some, potentially even double digits. Definitely going to be kicking themselves after the match, but I guess they did win plenty of ecos of their own. Now SKDC working up into the stairs. Enemy now going with some aggression over towards Catwalk. But similar situation as that one eco round where SKDC just got in the bomb site cleanly. Enemy just pushes up long and forfeits the bomb site, goes for retake. Problem being now, Kusta has been isolated with Slemmy's frag in the bathrooms. This leaves Kusta all alone at long in the bomb site for SKDC.
And he's watching his back rather than watching the sight, and he's got one in bank, and he is going to find the angle to take the shot onto Stewie, but he's got so much to contend with here. So there are still players in mid, and he's got one still waiting at long, holding the angle. That's going to be Slemmy. He's got the AK sitting towards the A bomb site. Else holding back in mid, a very strong angle to potentially take down Kusta. Oh, deciding not to peek. Goes away and just in time to allow Kusta to get into a better position, and now this actually could go Kusta's way. Kusta spots Else as they try to duck around the corner. Else is going to go for a pop flash, and this could actually work out great as Kusta walks right into it, but somehow dodges that one. Back and forth these players go. The tango continues. Kusta takes a bit of damage running over the molly, but it's not going to matter as Enemy finds the last round of the half. And I gotta be honest, regardless who wins this best of 3, both teams have a lot of work when it comes to the eco rounds. I think like no one can be happy with the victory here because it was very sloppy because of all those eco rounds.
Yeah, we're playing global offensives. Yeah, a couple eco rounds. It happens at the top tier level a lot. So, but this many, no, gotta tighten it up a bit. A lot of it's just decision making and strat calling for these two teams. So, while we're at halftime, I want to remind you guys once again about our Enermax giveaway. Field tested flip knife, bow reel forest. All you got to do is drop them a follow at Enermax Global and us at GoRGN TV on Twitter. Retweet that tweet and it will be given away very shortly. So, show them some love if you would. Also, brought to you by Alpha Draft, our fancy betting website. You get a salary, you pick 6 players, you pick your team, and you hope you beat your opponents with your esports knowledge, which I have been lacking recently, sadly. So definitely check those two guys out if you would. And now, Bach, let's talk about this match once more. Pistol round, obviously incredibly important, but the highlight of this match for me has been eco rounds. Sure, a lot of players have had standout rounds, but these two teams just have to avoid getting eco'd.
Yeah, I mean, it's been Enemy on the CT side with really solid ecos. It's been SKDC really on both sides on every map with solid ecos. So, even though Enemy has seemed to find their rhythm with their ego rounds here on Overpass, the only reason they found themselves in those positions is they continued to concede victories on gun rounds. They let that B bomb site become a sponge. This SKDC just pushed and pushed and pushed on B, and they had no answer. So I'm kind of curious to see if Enemy is going to give them the same treatment. Will we see Enemy kind of forcing the issue on the B bomb site, or will they be going A? I kind of think that the T side of Enemy is a little bit stronger than SKDC based on what I've seen thus far. They have very solid execution, smart map knowledge. They seem to have learned a lot from their current coach in AZK, who's been setting them up with some great strats. And, it's all going to come down to whether or not SKDC does what they did in the first few maps, which was play aggressive. And you can see they've already pushed up to Fountain. They've got 2 players pushing long. This is the play that SKDC needs if they're going to counter that team play aspect from Enemy.
SKDC are on the flank here. Enemy need to keep on the gas, otherwise the flank is going to come through. Stewie2K, big opportunity here as two people not even looking at him. Gets the first one. Now the trade comes in, attempted from SKDC, but no, it's going to favor Enemy. Ocean barely gets out of there with just 10 HP, and he's about to get flanked here. He needs to take the fight. He doesn't know that the player is coming in right behind him. Advantage for Enemy gamed off of that frag. So now what's SKDC's response? Do they go for some aggression, or do they just hunker down in the sights and play 2-1? And that is what's happening. They have two players inside of A. Enemy still trying to work up, and they have the bomb very forward in the bathroom, so it is going to be an A commitment, but they are putting some noise over towards B, and SKDC is sold on it. I'm really surprised L's rotated.
Yeah, now Ape falling back into bank as well. He's going to be the only man here with a USP. He's trying to find the angle onto ZNF. He's going to get overwhelmed if he's not careful. Uber with the Tech 9 coming around the bend, and it's just such a hard gun to contend with. Oh, Else goes for a reload at the worst possible time, and now it's Slemmy. Now, Slemmy has come up with some very clutch rounds, but without a kit and only a flashbang, this would be a very difficult retake. Already taking damage. He's going to get spotted out, drop down to 19. It's Uber with the Tech 9. That raid boss buy worked out perfectly. Uber finds 4. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but that's the slowest I've ever seen a Tech 9 fire in the last 6 months or so. Uber was actually tapping away at heads. It was not that wild machine gun spray that we're so used to seeing. Now that's Enemy picking up the pistol round, going up 10-6 over SKDC. If they chain these together, they'll be able to double up rounds on SKDC. And then a lot of weight on that first buy round.
It looks like Producer Man's Counter-Strike crash, so you're getting a radio cast. Enemy have everybody working up towards the A side. Producer Man, if you let me know when you're back. And they're working 2 up, make it 3 up long, and SKDC have actually gone for the force buy. We do have a scout at long, but Else has been pushed back with the scout. The scout being rendered useless. He still has range to play with, but the initial real estate gained by Enemy has put them in a great spot on this anti-force buy, as we must call it nowadays. So SKDC have 3 inside of A. Enemy not committing onto anything, but still slowly converging onto this A bomb site, taking things very slowly. So these scouts, being nullified. Enemy is doing a great job not giving them any early frags.
I mean, this is one of those things, like, I as much as I enjoy seeing the scout and how it's changed the way the game is played, the jump scout is kind of stupid, if I'm being honest. I mean, I love it. I mean, it kind of put SKDC into a potential opportunity to hold that site, but it's still a hard shot to hit, so I guess you're kind of factoring in just raw skill and impressive shots from the jump scout. Didn't come together here for SKDC. It's down to Else, who is putting his tail between his legs and running for dear life. 21 HP, and he's got a scout in hand. Going to try and save it, but I can't imagine that's going to happen. He's going to have to take a fight soon, and more than likely he's going to get spotted out. Nice shot there onto Ryu, but I believe Ryu only had an SMG, so it's not the end of the world. He did find a frag on the round, and you can see his money looking pretty good. So it's now Enemy 11-6. If they can take this, they will now be doubled up on rounds on SKDC, and because they force bought there, their money is really not going to be that good coming into the first buy. So I kind of question the force buy there. With such a great round deficit, I don't think it's important to take risks. I think they needed to solidify that first round so that they could make it 12-7 instead of 13-6.
Yeah, I don't like the. I don't know. On one side, they have to save up to go for.
I do and I don't, because their forces have been so good, but it was just not the force they needed.
Yeah, not at that time. Kusta, that's a bad player to give a whole lot of money to. 1,800 for his troubles with the MAC-10, and this is looking good for Enemy. Their economy is going to be good with Kusta. Probably not going to lose anybody this round. Never mind. Kusta thought he finished the job, but Ocean got the frag anyways. So now on to this round, taking a look at the money of SKDC with that force buy. Ooh, they're hurting. Slemmy at 38. They're going to buy anyways. The decision is how big of a gun do you get and how many nades do you get as a result of that. Lots of nades being lacked on SKDC's side. Enemy, not so much. Fully equipped, everything they desire. Now, what is the opening strategy? With that force buy, it gives Enemy a lot of momentum onto this round, and if they could keep carrying it, and I knew this was coming from SKDC, they're going to aggress the bathrooms constantly, but if they cannot get themselves going early on here on their CT side, they're going to be in like a desperate situation. Enemy, if they could take this, likely moving up 14-6. So this A gambit early has to pay off for SKDC. Otherwise, Enemy is going to be in a great spot to close this map out. And I like the strat from Enemy, just smoking off the front of Bathrooms. You see a lot of top-tier teams doing this now, as Bathrooms is such a treacherous position to try to work up on. Enemy getting the opening frag. This is not good for SKDC. They cannot afford to drop this round, else gets one. The trade now being attempted by Enemy. Good flashes being poured over the wall by SKDC. And I don't know if Enemy should commit onto this. They've expended a lot of time here. They get the frag anyways, almost spamming down Stewie. We're down to a 3-on-3. Kusta's turn, and he gets Stewie. Horrible spot now from SKDC. If they can't win this 2 versus 3, they're going to have zero room for errors.
Look at this molly from Kusta. That's actually going to land right on the truck. And that's just terrible, as that's going to force Ocean into the sight. But somehow, strafing across, he's going to catch ZNF off guard. Molly's going to rain behind the box as well. A lot of damage being dealt to Ocean. Drop down to 75. Anomaly doesn't peek, though, and he's not able to find the angle on the shot. They are going to surrender the site and allow the plan to happen. Ocean taking it with the man truck. That's Anomaly. Anomaly drops the man coming up, jump up. Now it's on to Ocean. 42 HP. Pop Flash is going to rain out. Not going to hit him. He comes around the front of the box and actually finds the frag. Down to 15 HP, and he is sticking it. Oh, he's going to smoke. I don't know what's going on here, but this is not Counter-Strike, ladies and gentlemen. Ocean actually could have stuck that. I believe he had the kit. He couldn't have been far from getting that defuse, but he jumps off at the last second. I think he thought that was a grenade, so maybe a nice fake there as Anomaly dropped that flash around the corner of that smoke. And now it's 13-6, and
I don't know if
money
he
situation
or
from
what.
SKDC is just bad. It's just bad all around.
I mean, the nade sound is different, but then again, in that desperate situation, the little clink maybe enough to even make you get off the bomb. But with that smoke that who I think it was Anomaly threw, it was a lot of time expended. So you're right, it would have been really close if he stuck that, but I think he might have been able to. Anyways,
I mean, the smoke gave him cover.
Yeah, but at the other time, I don't know what the plan was there from Anomaly. Both players kind of making mistakes at the end there. Anomaly not playing the time that well. Anomaly won the round anyways, but that was a pretty interesting situation to end the round. No surprise in this match, it's been quite a ludicrous one. Enemy now on the anti-eco, getting the first frag, taking things slowly, making sure they know SKDC aren't stacked before they enter a site. Slemmy goes down without any trade. I'm not liking the eco round too much here from SKDC. And with that win, after being up 9-6, winning the pistol round, and then winning the round thereafter, all the momentum is on Enemy's side. If SKDC don't win out after this next gun round, they're gonna lose. I can't believe it. It's this big of a T side from Enemy, just very, very strange.
Yeah, I mean, this whole match has been very strange. It seems like a lot of force buys and eco rounds have worked out kind of a little sloppy on both teams when it came to those eco rounds. It seems like Enemy has finally stabilized here on Overpass, and I think what you're seeing is SKDC felt so comfortable playing that aggressive play early on, but once they got to this deficit, they couldn't afford to go for those aggressive plays. It worked out well when the map was about even score or they had the advantage, but they're down by so much they can't risk giving up the early frags, early guns to Enemy, and now they're letting Enemy control the pace, and we talked about this time and time again. Enemy is very solid when they can control the place and dictate the team play aspect that has made them so successful in Premier this season. Top of the charts. Solid team play throughout the entire season, and that's just what we're seeing is SKDC not really having an answer for that. It's going to be great executions every time unless SKDC goes for that aggression and interrupts the setups for Enemy, and surprise, surprise, We're seeing 3 men push bathrooms yet again.
This is what I was worried about for SKDC, though. If their bathroom aggression doesn't work, and Enemy already has shown they're more than capable of dealing with it by throwing that smoke down in front of bathroom, which negates so many angles that the CTs can surprise you from and allows you to work up slowly, surprise anybody from the side into bathrooms. It really gives you the advantage instead of the CTs in the bathroom area. So after a while, SKDC is going to fall off of the bathrooms, except for Slemmy, just holding on to the stairs. Just going to miss the timing, though. Right when Enemy is about to come out the stairs, Slemmy backs off. Going to go ahead and go back to long and try his luck, who I believe is Kusta. So Enemy, their strat eventually looks like it's going to be an A split. However, Slemmy hits the frag. That's going to cue in Kusta to come up and try to contest Slemmy. This op duel at long is going to decide quite a bit of what happens this round if Slemmy decides to take it. But he is going to work up towards the bathrooms area. It looks like Enemy wants to hit the B-bomb site eventually. With this scenario, though, I don't like Kusta's position. All right, never mind.
It's just Kusta doing Kusta things. I mean, he's got the op and he finds the frag. He really has finally found at least some semblance of rhythm here on Overpass. It's going to be Ape trying to do what he can to lock down B, but it's Uber who finds a kill to respond. Still a decent hold here. Uber last man standing now. Looks like this could finally be around on the board for SKDC, but is it too little too late? They've already dropped down to 14-6. Uber still in decent position to hold this off if he could just find the head, tapping away somehow.
I love that AD.
I don't know how. I think that was Ape or Slemmy that he was shooting at there, just surviving forever. And it's going to be 14-7 now. SKDC trying to do what they can and mount the comeback, but they just reset their loss bonus. So now, if they lose this round, how do they sit money-wise? It looks like because of all the rifles they obtained on that last round, they're going to be able to buy, so it's not like they'll be coming into an eco on the last round. Still, though, I mean, 14-7, Enemy has been so good on their T side. SKDC kind of has to keep playing the aggressive play because it's what's worked for them, but that's also a massive gamble when you're down at a scoreline like this.
Yeah. That's how Enemy here. Working up into A, the bathroom area. This time they don't smoke it off, and this time SKDC doesn't have their bathroom aggression set up. This would have been a perfect time for it because now Ellis is all alone, kills himself. Some harakiri going on. I'm not sure what happened there. I wish I was looking at it. And SKDC, they do respond. It can't be a trade kill unless you count your teammate killing himself a trade. With 4-on-4 here, advantage Enemy though. Kusta catches Stewie 2K trying to fall back, and this is all a result of SKDC not going for their bathroom aggression and leaving their teammate to kill himself in the bathroom.
So now it's down to a 3 versus 3. Slemmy does find a frag to try and even things up. But Ape in water could get caught out here. Ryu pushing in through the door. He's going to spot him, and that's going to initiate the push from Anomaly in towards Long Canal. And he's got to get this duel onto that player. But somehow Ape escapes into pit, and he's going to find the frag onto Anomaly. And now Slemmy drops Uber. And just like that, the round falls apart for Enemy. And now their money isn't necessarily looking so hot either. Ryu somehow walks right into the spray and gets completely stopped. Compliments of aim punch, or not aim punch for that matter, but tagging, which, in my opinion, is one of the worst things they added to the game. When it comes to certain guns, it just seems unfair. Nonetheless, 18 HP, or 19 HP for that matter, 6 seconds left. He's just going to escape with the AK. And another solid hold from SKDC when it came down to that even 3v3. It seemed like they just had the proper solution, and Ape was such a pest in the B site. They just couldn't seem to find him, getting multiple frags, escaping away in pit. And it's now SKDC sitting on 8 rounds, so chipping away slowly, but it is that 14-8 scoreline. One more round, and Enemy will be sitting on map and match point, only 1 round away from victory. Moving on to face Luminosity is the winner. Loser will go down into the lower bracket, and they will be facing off against Keat. So really, I mean, I'm not sure which one's actually worse for either team,
right?
Keat or Luminosity. It's a difficult match in the next one regardless.
Yeah, Luminosity is in great form recently, and they brought Keat to the lower bracket. So, damned if you win, but of course you want to be in the upper bracket. But Enemy, great frag onto Stewie. SKDC can't afford to lose any rounds here, already at 14 for Enemy. And the player at long has to come up big, but no, Slemmy misses the initial shot with AWP Slemmy. I don't know what happened there, but he may have just costed his team the match. He had a point-blank shot on the player planting the bomb. Now leads his team in a 2-on-5. They have to save these weapons, otherwise they cannot buy.
He actually hit. He legged him and then shot him like 2 or 3 times with the 5.7. I don't know how he didn't kill him. Ryu was completely oblivious to the fact that he was long. So Ryu takes the shot. He's like looking around like, what, where did I just get shot from? Oh, it's cool. You guys got the sight. You probably shot me accidentally. Maybe it was Nate. And then he goes for the plant, and he starts taking pistol shots. He still can't figure out where he's being shot from. And that's when he realized, okay, the guy's long. He was down on 17 points of health. He couldn't engage. He did have the bomb. I mean, yeah, it was a big kill to not come up with, but he still probably would have been overwhelmed in the long run anyway, as all of those players would have swarmed him as he had no support from bank or CT spawn towards stairs. So really, I mean, I guess, yes, it's a big shot to miss, but it's a one-for-one trade either way, and that one would have favored enemy because of the situation that they would have been left with on the side of SKDC. So now it's a forced buy from SKDC in the final round, 3 from us, and up on Ape, and then Else sitting on the 5-7 armor. Going to be a very difficult round here if they can pull this together.
Ape. On to Kusta. Great opening frag. That's what they need. However, it's a straight-up B-bust on the other side of the map. Else, the only man here from water. He's got a lot of work to do. Only gets one. He needed more, despite only having a pistol. However, Stewie2K is there on time. So ZNF, can he get the bomb down safely? He gets the bomb down, but definitely not safely. Now Stewie2K trying to find Anomaly. Suspects that he's in the smoke, takes some shots, doesn't finish him off, eventually does those. There's Ape with that AWP. And Ape, the new player, once again, top fragging for SKDC. So, still alive as SKDC. And it looked to be a dangerous round. However, in the end, they do recover. So, taking a look at their economy, 3 players can drop 2. So, they're going to get a good buy-in. But for enemy, how much do they buy here? They're going to have enough to buy up fully, actually. I was expecting a Tech 9 round to come through, but with that bomb plant, have more than enough. So 6 chances to close it out. I think they could do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, what happened there with Anomaly, you can actually see his shadow underneath the smoke. Because the ground was uneven in the nature of smokes, they don't bloom down. So they kind of just go horizontal, and you can actually see his feet walking around as well as the shadow. So it kind of gave away his position. He had a molly on his tool belt, so to speak, there. If he had tossed the molly on the bomb, I think they actually win the game there. No kits on the side of SKDC. It still came down to very close defusal. He only needed to buy about 5 seconds worth of time, and that's more than enough with a molly. So if he just mollies the bomb, it's a victory for enemy. Still, though, they got the bomb plant. It was a very successful round, just blowing into that B site, getting the plant, and it's going to be another buy versus buy round here. Op on the back of Kusta, and an op in the hands of Ape as well. They're going to peek on bathrooms, and Lemmy is going to get spotted out. It's going to smoke it off and force those players to force up. Ooh, if he had rotated out like he wanted to there, ZNF could have caught him off guard, but instead he decides to stay in the bathroom. He's going to pop flash around the corner. He's got one to contend with. That's going to be ZNF, and ZNF drops almost immediately to the rifle of Slemmy. So now it's down to a 4 versus 5 in favor of SKDC, but Slemmy still has a lot to contend with here. He's going to eat a nade, but gets the kill nonetheless onto Uber. Anomaly found one on Ocean, but Ape responds immediately with the op, and now 2 versus 4. Kusta and Ryu. Kusta hopping around in bathrooms. Very difficult situation here for them to try and come out with this.
Kusta, yeah, he's running out of bullets here. This man is so hyped right now. He's just flicking all over the place. 22 HP for the match. Kusta, do you got it? Can't find Elf. So, 10 rounds now for SKDC. It was a buy for enemy, so expect that Tech 9 train to be a rolling somewhere. No, they didn't get the bomb down, so probably going to be seeing a full save from enemy. And if they want an op on Kusta, even a double. Oh, is that the best decision? We shall see. If Kusta can get some frags here, he can glass cannon. Maybe they can get the bomb down. Then he could definitely AWP. That is the objective here for enemy this round. Not buying a lot. A couple P250s, a couple nades. Keeping the expenditure low. But they go with a very spread out setup. I guess they're just looking for some early pushes. They toss a couple nades towards A just to keep them honest at the A bomb site. And then they go and prime up for their B bus. They got 1 smoke and 2 flashes. So in they come. SKDC. Primary objective, defend the bomb plant, then win the round on top of that. So here they come, and doesn't look like any frags are coming enemy's way just yet. They are planting inside the smoke, but Ocean catches them on the heel as he's planting the bomb. No bomb plant for enemy, which means no op for Kusta.
Yeah, that extra money definitely would have made a big difference. He still would have had a glass cannon, so maybe not the best situation for them anyway. Right now, it seems like there's...
You can get armor.
Yeah. Would he have had 5,400? I thought he was sitting at 40. Maybe my score is wrong. It says 4,400. He would have had 5,200 if he got the bomb.
Oh, you're right.
Extra
you're
800. Right. So he wouldn't have been able to get armor, but their all presence from the side of SKDC is a serious nuisance for them thus far. And, you know, that bomb, yeah, it makes a big difference. But they're going to open up nonetheless with a frag on hallway. That's going to be Slemmy going down, and that's actually that all presence that we talked about. So he could potentially pick this up and give it to Kusta, and all of a sudden, they're the ones who are being the
Oh.
nuisance. Anomaly with a nice shot in B onto Ocean, and that is going to open up the B site. Ape, the only man still there, and he's holding down from Graffiti. Very passive play. A missed smoke from Anomaly, but it's not going to matter. Oh, a nice pop flash. That's actually going to blind Ape, who Anomaly walked into. It could have been a very easy frag for him, but instead it's actually going to be him surviving and Stewie dropping in from the window, finding the frag. Uber picks off Stewie in the back of sight, and now it's Else, 92 HP, AK in hand. Can he make it happen here?
No, I don't think so. Else getting flanked. That's going to be it. 16-11. Enemy 2-1 underdog. Take the victory over SKDC. And Enemy has been looking good recently, but so has SKDC. So them coming out on top, really good performance by Enemy. But and a good addition, by Ape as well.